Hello there, my name is Ali from Lee Consultancy. Today I want to talk through brushing up your CV in a few simple steps. Now, while some of us have got time on our hands, it's a really good opportunity to dust down that CV and see if any improvements can be made, or if you haven't got one, to start writing one. No one enjoys writing CVs, but it's so important in the job searching process. It not only tells people who you are and what you can do, it also is a great prompt to use when talking to somebody about your experience, whether that's with a recruiter who you're talking about opportunities with, or even in an interview itself. So today we're going to cover each section that needs to be present in your CV, and then we'll look at the overall look and presentation of your CV. Now remember, this is subjective, so what works for me might not suit your taste, and lots of people have different opinions on this. But having spent so many years looking through thousands of CVs, I think keeping it clean and simple with as much relevant information as possible is the best approach. I'm also going to put a template in the comments section for you to use if you'd like that, and that will demonstrate the steps that I'm showing you in this short video. Firstly, under your contact details is your profile. So this is where you're telling the reader who you are, where you've been, and what you're looking for. So some people find it uncomfortable to say what it is they exactly are looking for, in fear that they may miss out on an opportunity that could present itself to them. But ambiguity can have a negative impact, and it can prevent the reader from wanting to pick up the phone to you. You need to grab that reader's attention to want to speak to you in this profile. It's also wise to mention any certifications that are relevant to the roles that you are wanting. So for example, if you're a project manager, you may have Prince 2, you may be Agile certified. That needs to be mentioned in that first paragraph. So under your profile will be your key skills. This should be in bullet point format, pretty self-explanatory. I work in IT recruitment, so if I was looking at a support CV, this is where I'd expect to see a list of the technologies that person was experienced in using. Then under key skills is your industry certifications. So this is any certification that backs up your experience. So again, in IT, that might be Microsoft certifications, VMware, Citrix, Cisco, whatever those certifications are, this is where you bullet point those. Following this is your key achievements. So this is a snapshot of your CV to show where you've added value to the businesses that you've worked for in the past. So things where you have saved time for a business, or money, or managed to improve staff retention, all these things are where you'd highlight them on your CV. So if you've implemented a process that's made the business more efficient, or has allowed the business to deliver an additional service, or managed to retain a client that they may have lost, or brought in a new client, all these things need to be in that key achievements box. Finally, we get to your work history. So it's really important to have the company, job title and dates very clear at the top. Do not miss out putting your dates on. I know some people do it because they may have been a bit hoppy and try and cover that up, but you're more likely to have a conversation with somebody if you have been hoppy and they can see the dates, than just ignoring them or trying to hide them. So under this, I then write a sentence or two about what the company does and what sector they're in. It gives the reader an insight into the environment you've been in, and it gives them more of an understanding when it comes to what your roles and responsibilities have been. So under that, then bullet point your responsibilities. This can be difficult because a lot of people run on autopilot after a while and don't realise what they actually do on a day-to-day basis. It's good to brainstorm and really work through your days and write down what it is you do, or use job specs for inspiration. So if you see a job spec that you think you're suitable for, and they've listed roles and responsibilities and you have that experience, use that as inspiration. Because if it's not on your CV, people don't think you can do it. Also, we only need detail of the last 10 years of your work experience. So I don't need to know what you were doing 20 years ago. So give the detail of the top 10 years, and then after that you can just write the company, job title and dates from and to, and say that you will provide more information on request. Next is your qualifications. Very simple, that's your education and any qualifications you've got. Then finally we have your hobbies. Some people put them in, some people don't. I personally love looking at people's hobbies. I've seen some amazing ones. It's also used in interviews as a bit of a conversation starter, so I definitely think put them in. Finally is the overall look of your CV. So you want to make it as clean and clear for the reader as possible. So keep all the font the same, keep all the size the same. I personally like Calibri. I think it is a good, easy font to read, but you may have your own preferences, but just keep it all the same size. I don't think you need to keep a CV to 2 pages. I certainly haven't experienced that with my clients. Okay, I don't want your whole life story, but it's quite acceptable to have a CV that's 3 pages long. If the detail isn't in there, we don't know you've done it. So there we have it, a quick run through of how to write a CV. So I hope you found this helpful. If anybody wants any further advice or guidance, then please comment below and I'll help any way I can. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.